today we've got a very, very special guest. And in my opinion, I strongly believe that this man right here should be in the UFC. It's long overdue. And that man is Jesse Strader. How are you?
What's up, man? I'm good. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. And I know we're filming this on a Friday. It's a Friday morning there. So weekend ahead. What are your plans?
Man, well, training, that's for sure.
Hmm.
I got some training going on. And pretty much that's it, man. The Super Bowl happened last Sunday, so there's not really anything going on. So just focusing on training. That's it.
Nice to know. I mean, I'm just getting into it, like NFL, American football. What were your thoughts on the Super Bowl? Were the Buccaneers who you predicted who you win, or what were your thoughts?
Man, you know what? It was like it's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT, man. I didn't like him for a long time, but it's like it's kind of hard to deny. I think after not this last one, but the one before that, I was like, yeah, he's the GOAT. He deserves it. So I was kind of rooting. I didn't really want him to get 7, but I was like, you know what? If he gets it, he deserves it. So I mean, it was cool. I didn't have any team in the game anyway. So I just wanted to see a good game.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough for me. Sorry, the dog's going off in the background as you can hear. I don't know what's going on, but with Brady as well, like I always get a bit confused. A lot of people saying it the GOAT, but do you really think you can call someone the GOAT of the sport when they only really play half the game? Or I don't. Maybe I'm just ignorant to American football. What are your thoughts on it?
I think just because he's the quarterback and the quarterback is
Hmm.
like he's responsible for a lot of just a lot of the. I mean, sometimes they got to call the plays, and they're responsible for a big portion of the game. So when he's played in like 10 Super Bowls, so like to me, won 7 of them. So to me, that's like nobody's ever done that. So nobody's even come close to that. So to me, that's crazy. I was never even a Brady fan. It's just, it gets to that point where someone
You'll respect it.
is accomplishing that you got to give them credit.
Nice, exactly. Now, moving on from the NFL, American football, I want to talk about you, and I've got to know your story. How did you get into fighting mixed martial arts?
Man, with me, I've always played sports all my whole life, my entire life. I played sports, but more of like the generic sports, basketball, baseball, soccer. Uh, for you, it's football.
Yeah.
And then American football I played too. So um, and then I was an athlete. My brother and sister are athletes, and I just got into the sport by watching the early UFC days, those early classic crazy days where it was kind of like any and all and everyone for themselves or whatever. And so I got into it as being a fan, then watching the fights with my dad growing up. I was in junior high, and then once I got to high school, ninth grade, I started wrestling and started training from there. And then just it's been a wrap ever since. I knew I loved it before I even started it, but once I started training, I was like, it's over. I became obsessed. Like, just that's all I wanted to do was train, and it's been a wrap ever since, man. Fell in love with every aspect of the sport too, not just striking, not just wrestling, not just jujitsu. So the whole game I love every aspect of it. I couldn't be just one or the other. I love every aspect of MMA.
Sorry about that. Yeah. And what was the first fight card that you watched? Do you remember?
Oh man, I don't remember the first. I we were watching like back when I was watching it. There was a lot of like anniversary shows, so they would do
Hmm.
like, oh, like the very beginning. So I was watching a lot of that, and then like at that era that I was really getting into it, it was like Chuck, Tito, Randy Couture, like all the like those three were really big. Matt Hughes was huge. GSP, who became like one of my favorite fighters. Was all from like that era, and that's when I got into it, man. So it was like Chuck, Tito, GSP, Matt Hughes. Is a good time.
And obviously, those guys back then, the game's evolved a lot. And those guys back then, they really had one thing that really stood out for them, whether it's Randy Couture with his wrestling, Chuck with his kickboxing. And did you look at that then when you were younger and be like, oh, I should only just focus on one thing? Or was it like, I'm watching this and these guys only specialize in one aspect of the game and I'm going to do everything to be better than these guys?
Yeah, at that time, you're 100% right. They had one strong suit, like they had one strong area. Matt Hughes was all wrestler. Like he'll wrestle, slam you. Chuck Liddell overhand right, like he trying to put you out with some takedown defense. So like for me at that time, the wrestlers were dominating. Like Randy Couture, even Chuck, Matt Hughes again, like they were all dominating. They all had the titles. And so I was like, you know what? When I get to high school, I can start with wrestling because it's part of the it's part of the school, it's part of the school sport. So I was like, I can start wrestling and do that right off the bat, because at that time the wrestlers were dominating. Like no, if you couldn't wrestle, you would just get exposed and get taken down and mauled like Habib now. But so that's what it started, wrestling. And then I was like, but you gotta do everything, because these guys are getting better and better. And the next generation is only getting better and more complete and more well-rounded. So, I knew I had to be good at everything, but I did start with wrestling because of, at the time, the wrestlers were just so dominant.
Yeah, and quite right, you said. And I actually got the chance to speak to Frank Trigg a while back, and he said today's guys, they would absolutely ruin his generation of fighters because they're just so, nowadays it's just they know everything and they're just so well diverse.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And then you should see the kids coming up now.
Yeah, it must
There's
be
some
even
scary,
better.
there's some scary kids out there, man.
Oh no. And I want to look at you as well. You've got a guy, you've got quite a few tattoos as well. And I've got to know, what's more painful, being in the octagon, taking that punishment, or the needle on your skin?
Oh man, what's more painful? Probably, I would say tattoos while you're getting them, because you don't really feel anything in the fight until after. So then maybe the next day the fight pain might take it if it's a hard long fight, but for sure during, while you're sitting there, the tattoos just a little annoying
That
pain
dull
the whole
pain.
time. The fight is just fun. Fight is just pure fun.
Is there any areas of your body that's just no go? That's too painful. I'm not getting tattooed there.
Man, well, I already got my lower stomach, and that was like that to me was like the most brutal. So I don't think at this point there's any area that I'm opposed to right now, because once I got that stomach, man, that stomach was
Oh,
brutal. Yeah, it was brutal.
is that what does it feel like? Is it just like you're tensing, or just like you've just done a really big ab workout?
Yeah, dude, it's like I just remember remember when I was saying, yeah, when I'm gonna get my stomach done, everybody was like, oh, good luck, good luck. And I thought they were all messing with me. And then when I started getting it tattooed, I was like, oh, like it was like everyone who ever said anything just ran through my head again. And I was like, oh, they weren't messing with me at all. Like I started sweating. It was crazy. It was crazy, man.
That's mental. And you're a California guy, and in your fighting career, you fought in California and Combate, if I'm correct. So,
Yeah.
can you talk to me about how do the two experiences like compare, fighting California and then fighting under Combate?
Uh, they're very different. Actually, they're very different. Fighting. I really like fighting. I love fighting like locally. I love fighting in California, and I love fighting like with like the amount of people that I have and supporters and just everything like that. And then but fighting with Combate, like they take care of you a little bit better, and it's a little bit more. It feels like a level up. Feels like a level up in there, and then and just like the venues and hotels and everything is different. It just feels like a little level up with Combate. So it's been good too. The traveling, we've been traveling, went to Mexico. We're supposed to go to Mexico City. So I mean, it's very different. The traveling, it just feels like a bigger show. Yeah.
Nice. And
Now I'm
how's
trying.
that Mexican crowd?
The Mexican crowd is they just love fights, man. It's very, yeah, it's a very fiery crowd, like very exciting. And that's what's good about it. Like they like the hometown guy, but like if you come to fight, like they're gonna cheer. They're gonna get out of their seats, and they're gonna come give you a handshake and tell you good fight, and they're gonna love you, man. They love you. They just love to see fights. They love good fights.
Is the atmosphere something that you drown out, or do you kind of like encourage it when you fight?
Oh, I completely encourage it. I completely encourage it. Like me, I'm 100% having fun in there. That's like me in the cage. Like, dude, like I'm just trying to be present. I'm trying to be present. I'm not trying to drown out any which thing. Of course, I'm focused on the task at hand. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to be present and soak in the entire experience.
I love it. That's and with the Mexican crowd, obviously they're all speaking Spanish. So that it just does that like really not affect you as much because I don't really know what they're saying. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. I know a little bit, but yeah, not enough to really like get my feelings hurt or anything.
Exactly, not those really bad swear words. So you're all good on
Yeah,
that. On that.
exactly.
And you're living in California, and you've got access to the beach and the mountains, which is actually amazing for a state to have. And you certainly don't have that in London. You just got grey streets and just dog poo everywhere. So it's a bit of a comparison. Not as good here. But what do you prefer? Like if you go out a day out for the beach or a nice hike or run in the mountains?
Me, I'm 100% trying to go to the beach.
Mm.
Me, I'm 100% trying to go to the beach. I'm trying to go like surfing, trying to go boogie boarding, just trying to swim. For sure do that. But I was just snowboarding a few weeks ago. So I do enjoy the slopes. I do enjoy it, but honestly, I'm a California kid, man. I love the hot heat and I love swimming. I love the beach. I love waves. So totally if I had to choose the beach, 100%.
Yeah, the beaches there are amazing. And I think a couple of spots in California, remember like Big Bear and Lake Arrowhead, where apparently they're great for snowboarding and all those water spots. I need to check those out because you're really selling it to me there. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I was just up at Big Board. I was just up at Big Bear like 3 weeks ago. It's
Hmm.
great. It's great. You got to go.
So it's all open with the COVID. How is California?
Yeah, it's pretty open, and since it's snowboarding, you wear a mask anyways. Like it's pretty,
Hmm.
like it's like it was like the most normal thing that I've experienced this whole pandemic. Like seriously, it was like everyone's already wearing masks anyway. It's cold, and there's like you're going through, not a long wait on the line. So it was actually pretty nice. It was kind of like refreshing.
That's good. And if I may, I want to look at what's next in your career, and obviously the big promotion, the UFC, which I said at the start, I think you really deserve to be there with your knockout, your fight style. Do you have any update on like how close you are to getting there, or do you just need to keep fighting and see what happens?
Man, whatever I got to do to make it happen, I'm gonna do it. I feel like it's close because I feel like
Mm,
I have a great record. It's a little small, but it's a great record. And I
agreed, yeah.
and I every single person I fought, I either knocked them out or I for sure knocked them down. Like everybody's been sat down by me in every single fight. So I think it's close. It might be a last minute replacement, which is totally fine with me, man. I have no problem going in
Mm.
there and taking my opportunity. So I have no problem with that last minute replacement. And I have no problem continuing to do some more fights to get in, but it's gonna happen regardless, because I have it set. I have my eyes set on it, my mind is set on it, and I won't waver until it's complete.
Hey, I think if you fight and beat someone called Michael Jackson, you should just get into the UFC, which you've done. That's pretty cool, man.
I agree. I agree.
And there's lots of avenues to the UFC, of course, lots of different ways. And the two main ones right now are the Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter. And looking at those two, if you had to pick, which one would you rather be involved in?
If I could pick, I would be on the Ultimate Fighter. That would be a lot of
Really?
fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be an experience, it'd be an experience. But I'm good with either. Like the Dana White Contender Series is perfectly fine with me.
That's great because when I speak to lots of fighters, they actually say, "Oh, I'd rather contender series. I don't really want to go into that house." Like what I think they've got like no internet or something. It's crazy. So that
Yeah,
must be
yeah,
really.
yeah. I could see that. I could see their perspective, but me, I think it'd be a good time. I think it'd be fun.
And let's say if you got called on now, I think the coaches are going to be Masvidal and Colby. I mean, whose team would you rather be on?
Oh man, dude, I gotta be on Street Jesus's team. I gotta be on Masvidal's team.
Really?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That
I'm a big fan of George, big fan of George. But Colby's tough too, man. I was
yeah,
just watching a
definitely.
Colby fight. Colby's a workhorse, man. I love it.
Yeah, and for me, like I think a lot of when I have a lot of people, if I watch fights with people, they go, "Oh, is that that guy just takes people down and stuff?" But I just think for me, it's so aesthetically pleasing, like a dominant performance like that, the high energy and everything, and it's just I'm just sitting there like, wow, it's incredible.
Exactly. That's high level stuff. Like to be taken down over and over again and just completely taken out of your element. That's high level.
Exactly, and your division, the bantamweight division in the UFC, is arguably one of the most stacked, along with lightweight, welterweight, men's divisions, and a lot of guys in there. So, what's your take on the current state of the bantamweight division? Who do you think is like got people like Sean O'Malley, Aldo? Who do you think the best matchup for you is?
Oh man, best matchup for me, man. Let's see. Uh Honestly, I think I'm a problem for a lot of those guys. I think
Mm,
I really do. And I'm open to fighting. I'm open to fighting any and all of them for a couple of reasons. They're the best in the world, and I think the bantamweight division is completely stacked. I think it's like
yeah,
such a
definitely.
stacked and exciting division right now. And I do think that my movement, my athletic ability and my speed and power are such a huge problem for any bantamweight in the world. It doesn't matter who it is. The speed and power, nobody understands it until they get in with me. And everyone hits the mat, every single one.
Exactly, and you seem like quite a big guy as well. So, what weight are you walking around at usually in between fight camps?
You know, in shape, I'm probably 55, 155. Yeah. So I when I lean out, I probably sit about 152, 150 in between there. But like in shoot, if I've whenever I've gotten like injured and been out for a while, I've gotten up there. I've gotten up to like in the 60s before. So I can get big, but I like to stay lean. If I can stay in the low 50s, that's perfect for me. It's an easy cut.
Nice. And I've got to ask you, big fight in the division coming up, Yan versus Sterling. May I ask your prediction on that?
Man, you know, that's a tough one. I think that could go either way. I think that could go either way, but I see a flaw. I see a flaw in Yan's game. He's not very fast with the footwork, and Aljamain is, but Potter's got some power on him, man.
Hmm.
So I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go if he plays a smart game. I think I'm gonna go Aljamain, but Pete Potter's got that power to put anyone out. So I'm gonna go Aljamain, but I never count anyone out.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think Yan's got that stamina, 5 rounds, but Sterling. I think that ground game. If they get on the ground, takes us back. It's good night. Yeah, and that's for sure.
I agree. I agree.
Definitely, definitely. And what about for we've got tomorrow actually, Usman versus Burns. How do you see that going down?
Oh man, that's another good one. That's another good one I've been waiting so long for. Uh Another one. I'm a huge fan of both of them. I think Burns is next up. I think he's next up, but I'm just not sure if it's this one. I'm not sure if it's this one, but I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna go Usman on this one, but I think Burns will be coming rising to the top soon.
Yeah, yeah, same. I really, I don't like making predictions because I just, I don't want to get it wrong.
You know, I've never made good predictions too. So if you want to make some money, bet against my predictions
Yeah, same
and you'll
here.
make some money.
Exactly. And final question I've got to know, you fought in Mexico, California. Let's say you're fighting in Rome in the Colosseum, gladiator style. What's your weapon of choice and why?
Oh man. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go an axe. I'm gonna go an axe because
One of the
I've
big
already
ones.
practiced throwing axes. Yeah, big axe. I've been practicing throwing them, and I've been getting good at it, man. I'm telling you, I could see myself out there with two axes. Ah,
If you throw them, then they're gone. That's it. You got to make that shot count
that's
then.
it.
So
You got to make it count. Got to make it count.
been practicing at the Renaissance Fair, just when it comes to town, just throwing those axes. Well, and thank you so much for your
Yeah, man,
time.
we have a cool place out here.
Oh, really? Where?
Yeah, we have a cool place, Axe and Dagger, man. You can throw axes and knives, and it's a cool time. Yeah, it's a good time.
Is it heavy, or is it just like you don't really feel the weight because you're just throwing it with such momentum?
Yeah, they're long axes, so like when you throw it, it's not too heavy. You just sling it, and it actually it's not even hard to get it to stick in, dude.
Oh.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how easy it is.
Oh, when I come back to LA, we've got to hit it up, man. We've got to see whose throwing style is the best.
Hey, yeah, come out here and we'll go for sure, 100%.
I love it. I love it. And if you want to shout out anything, say sponsors, the floor is yours, man.
Okay, yeah. Well, shout out my gym, SoCal Five Factory. Shout out my other gym, Peterson Grapplers. Shout out my management team, Upgrade Management, and shout out all my sponsors. There's too many to list, but shout out all my supporters, everyone who supports me, and just follows my career and shows love and support. I appreciate you guys so much, and you'll see me at the top soon. I swear.
I can't wait. Can't wait.